8:30. Call meeting to order. Stand for pledge of allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Morning, gentlemen. And Tim down on that party. No,
I'll make a motion to approve today's agenda.
I'll second. Motion and a second, any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? I'll make the motion to approve the minutes for June 2nd.
I'll second that.
Motion and a second, any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Meeting attended.
I had a Disability Alliance meeting Friday, which is basically mental health. We approved, I don't know how many contracts, a dozen with different entities, and I'm still trying to get my head around how this whole group operates. Seems a little disorganized on my part, but yeah, as far as I know, it's business as usual. I also met with a gentleman from the Bureau of Investigations and Internal Fraud Division. He perked up on that. He currently has an office in Henry County, and Henry County apparently is going through some changes. And we're part of their area. It's Louisa, Henry. And he asked if they had any spots available, if for some reason their supervisors kicked them out. They pay rent, their state might pay it. And I said, well, I think so. If I took him out to the complex in that room where emergency management has their stuff, and he liked that spot. So he's just kind of on a fact-finding mission right now. He asked what rent would be, and I said, I don't know, we've never been down there. And I said, what do you pay now? And I'm kind of embarrassed to say, but it's 150. I said, well, we'd probably be more like 250 for this spot. But I'd have to talk a little with you guys. He goes, that sounds great. I will keep this in the background in case they pull the wool out from a rug out from underneath the room, and then maybe we'll talk. And so
So are they talking about kicking them out or not?
they're pretty serious about,
Pretty serious.
moving things around, kind of like what we did here a while back, moving things around and attempted to anyway. We'll see. There'll be more coming. I told him we'd need at least a month to get things settled. He didn't have a problem with that, so. Anyway, that's really all I had, I guess.
I didn't have anything last week. Kids are all from a full week to nothing. Okay. This is time to allow public input for anything you'd like to see on the next agenda.
We got the hand up.
Oh, we do?
I
Okay.
want to ask Sean or get it on the name. We ever get a follow up from this electricity?
We did. There was some errors in the paperwork apparently. Last month our bill was what? $17 or something weird.
It was very low.
So I think they're playing catch up because Alliant wasn't giving us the correct credits. So we need to see how this plays out for the next month or so. And I'm glad we actually spoke up and said something because they weren't doing what they were supposed to be doing. So we'll see.
Okay.
More to come.
So shouldn't they give us some sort of explanation on that and how?
Whoops, I screwed up.
Well, I mean, it's just giving us credit, but not telling us how much credit they owe us.
Well, what
There
it
should
seemed,
be numbers on your.
Right.
You know.
What it seemed like
Metering.
from what Red Line told me, Red Line, of course, was sending us a bill, but Alliant hadn't backed their bill down So they weren't allowing any credits from the flow back from the solar. So we were getting two,
Yeah,
and then I don't know how they operate. I mean, I don't know if they're gonna give you a monster credit all at once, maybe they do, but I think last month was like $17 or something, when it's normally 1,700. So,
I will say this month it went back up, so.
did it? Okay, we'll give me some more copies, we'll stay on them.
it would be nice if they would say, give us something, so this is what we owe you for a credit. you know?
Absolutely, it would be really nice if they would come out and say that.
Yeah,
Mhm.
Well, and then you should get something from Redline to see if this stuff is, doing what they projected it would do, did it meet its goals?
I jumped on him and said it wasn't, because we have a contract that says it's supposed to be doing this, and it wasn't. What's going on? Oh, I'll get right on that. Okay. I'm gonna give him a chance. I'm not gonna breathe down his neck, but after a while, when it isn't happening, then yeah.
don't have any payroll changes to do.
I didn't see any.
I didn't see any in the budget. Okay. Discussion on possible action on converting old jail demolition. Oh. Adams, do
Yeah,
develop the scope for us.
yeah, I developed a scope. I did not include any, days for bid letting or completion or anything like that. I was gonna see what the consensus was here, but, the general scope would be to either demolish the jail. Anything salvageable becomes a property of the contractor. It's probably the steel and some of those things. There's also some bricks and things like that that could be in concrete and things like that that could be disposed of by the contractor at their own place as well. There's obviously gonna be some junk in there with paint and wires and things like that, but that will have to go to the transfer station. After the building is demoed, they would have to backfill in a hole and place topsoil and seed it down. So, there's we would call it to double check the utilities are off it and all of that kind of work and all that. The contractor would have to cap the water and sewer. I assume both those are pretty old and not best shape, but has to be done, so. My thinking was to bid it out sometime in July. And then give them about a month and a half to get it done. So hopefully have it all done and seeded down by the end of September, so that we could have some grass growing and all that, so. I guess that's my recommendation of how I would do it if the will is to do it, so.
So you guys undoubtedly have heard that there's supposedly a petition being passed around to not knock it down. I don't know if there's any names on it. And I got a phone call. It was either yesterday or Friday, because my days are all messed up. I can't remember. That there's an individual that's attempting to get this hurriedly put on the historic registry so it won't get knocked down. However, it's a county building, so we have control over that. Just so you know, there's gonna be some bit of some opposition of spending the money to knock it down.
The question I had is, has anybody actually been inside the building?
I have,
Yes, and
it's not good.
it is not good at all, so.
And those same people that seem to be opposing this don't seem to be stepping up with money to buy it and rehab it. they just want to stand on the sidelines and holler. Now, me personally, I can see both sides. I mean, I understand the county side of it. I can see that the property is valuable. I can understand the direction that maybe the county or the supervisors want to go, get that. But I also see the other side where, you know, it's been there a long time and it could be rehabbed into something, but I
Or we
don't,
can say-
I don't know.
Or we can say, but be having this discussion again in 10 years.
Exactly. They already have been.
Yeah, they've been talking about it
Mhm.
forever, so.
Yep, and this is exactly the same situation the previous supervisors came to, is that you had people saying knock it down and you had other people jumping up and down saying don't do it, and they just dropped it and just let it sit there. So it either needs to be sold and fixed or knocked down.
The problem with selling it though is there's no parking to go with it. And then if you sell it and they don't fix it and just sits there and deteriorates forever,
My
you have
opinion
no control.
on selling the building is, it depends on what goes in the building. Okay, so for example, if it gets sold and somebody buys it for almost nothing and stacks a bunch of junk in it, well, that, we don't want that.
Yeah,
That serves no practical purpose. However, somebody could put an Airbnb in it and parking is mostly in the evenings or on the weekends, and that's a non-issue. The problem that you have with that is you can't control what somebody does with that building when it's sold.
right.
You, what do you do with it? It'd be a grocery store? I mean, I'm being ridiculous about it, but I'm just saying that we have got buildings downtown that people have bought and just stacked them full of garbage. We don't want that, so
I'm in favor of pursuing the demolition
I am
myself.
too.
unless you could have somebody that would come in here and say, hey, this is what I'm gonna do, here's however much money, and this is my plan, and I'm a little hesitant around selling it. I'm looking at this one, unfortunately.
Question, you mentioned historic was maybe going to the historical register. Who winds up with control at that point? You guys?
So it'll be the county, still county owned. This
That
point,
doesn't make much sense.
It's just an attempt to.
circumvent what we're doing.
Yeah.
And the jail was built in the thirties, right? Wasn't
No,
1915 or anything like that, so it's not even 100 years old.
Getting close, but you know.
Yeah.
I don't know what their criteria is.
Criteria is 50 years
Is it
old.
50?
50 years.
Anything 50 years or older is considered historic.
Kathy Vance is the one to contact.
I'm historic.
At least
I'm
I'm
prehistoric.
No matter what you guys do, before you demo it, you should at least do a site inventory of it. And that would mean getting the history, getting pictures, inside, outside. So it's documented what was there. As long as it's documented, most historical people shouldn't.
I think for me, it's gonna depend on how much it costs to knock this thing down.
Well, yeah.
I mean, if it comes in at $40 million or something stupid,
My thought is it should have been part of the bond issue back when they built the new jail. They should have just
taking it
had
down.
it well already figured in there at that point, but it would have probably been half or less than half at that time.
Yeah,
There will be some people who will be upset.
Go ahead and shoot some bids. but-
I think we should see what it's gonna cost. I can't say that I'm on board until I see what it
My
costs.
one concern is, I mean, I guess I'd like to know what their plan is for the brick, cause I don't think the transfer station could handle if they bring every single thing over.
the, brick would become property of the owner. Right, so they can either pay to have it disposed or find a suitable spot. Versus the wires and the, you know, old junk and all that, that is some, you know what I'm saying, I'm trying to specify things that. The county will pay for to dispose of versus the brick and stuff like that, the county isn't going to pay for, so.
So that gives them incentive to find another place for the.
Yes, I think so. Yeah, you know, and if you have enough bidders, if you get, you know, obviously, if the thing is to go forward, I will probably publish it in the newspaper and have it open like bidding, and then you'll get not one bidder, you'll get 4 or 5 bidders, hopefully anyway. And then there's gonna be somebody out there who's got an inventive way of doing it, right? So.
So the city might let them dump it out there on.
Yeah, I mean, the river could always use more bricks. So.
Okay, so
I'm okay with you getting bids. You want to get a motion, Brian?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'll make a motion that Adam seeks bids for this jail demolition.
I will second that.
motion and second, any further discussion?
What time are we gonna have the bids due by?
I believe on mine, I took all the dates off. I don't recall what. It was gonna be noon for a night meeting, I believe. Let me,
Okay, yeah, you got down there at the bottom noon, but you don't have a date.
okay, let me,
July 7th be the next night meeting.
yeah, it's probably not enough time to do it.
Yeah.
In at least a month.
Do
August 4th.
August 4th.
Yeah, or we could do the, what is the morning meeting in July? Is that the 21st?
Yes.
That would probably be okay if you wanted to.
And the day before.
Yeah. And then that would give them about 2 months to get their permits and everything and get it demoed, so. Yeah, so, probably had the bids due at 8:30 on the 20, what was it get, on the 21st, so. Okay. We'll have the bids delivered to the auditor's office, okay? So, planning to work that day, but my son has a surgery the day before, so I'll be able to make it in, so. Okay.
Okay.
For me.
Motion and second, any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay. On to the next. The possible action to amend the secondary road program.
Yeah. So, this is for the 2030/31 STBG project that we're planning to do, the X37 improvements. Out there, I have applied for a grant for another funding source for that. So, in consultation with, regional planning, I would like to push this back from a 2030 project to a 2031 project. So that, we can let the grants, process, take its time. It also works better for the regional planning schedule, so. Nothing big, we're probably pushing back a few months, so. But, in order to have it blessed, I have to bring it here next time, so. Kevin, I do have a
Pre-date one, okay. Well, I guess we need to have a motion to amend the 2027 secondary road five-year plan.
I'll make a motion to amend the 2027 secondary roads 5-year plan.
Second that.
Motion and second, any further discussion?
Is that the road coming from,
X37 going to Columbus Junction.
does it extend and go towards Gladwin?
No, this is, and of the 5 mile lane north.
Okay.
Yeah, so, I did apply for a Safe Streets for All grant to basically put paved shoulders on that whole thing. I don't know if we're gonna get it, but.
There are a couple of spots there. Up right through there. Is it gonna last that long?
Yeah, I mean, well, I'm probably gonna overlay it with asphalt, so if it gets bad, we can patch it.
Right.
Yeah.
Any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? We need this, or is it?
I think you need to know, but it's fine.
Is there an auditor attest on there?
Yep,
Ours are fine.
just Susan.
And they-
Larry West now.
So,
Hey, Adam again. Default speed limit.
default speed limit, so. The Iowa legislature, through Senate File 378, changes statutory speed limit from 55 miles per hour to 60 miles per hour. As far as I know, county engineers weren't consulted about the engineering viability of it, and I don't know if the DOT had been either. I believe they were consulted about the costs, and costs are some. So that will change the speed limit of all 2-lane highways in Iowa, as I understand it. So, we have Highway 61, 92, 78, and 70. It will also be applied to our roads. We have 99 and G62 and all those. So, it doesn't affect like roads or speed limits in the cities, right? So it doesn't change the 25 up to 30. It just changed to 55 to 60. So that's the thing. And it doesn't change the speed warnings on a curve, right? A curve says at 45, it doesn't go up to 50.
Effective July 1st, right?
Yes, effective July 1st. So, a quick review of our system. About half the roads are going to be okay with no change. Almost everything west of here is okay, and 99 is okay for the most part and all that. A lot of them do have curves that are like 50-mile-per-hour curves that we will have to add a little signage to those. Basically, if a curve is 5 miles per hour less than the posted speed, you have to put signs up. If it's 10 miles per hour less than the posted speed, you have to put, you're recommended to put chevrons up, which are the posts around the corner. 15 miles per hour less, you have to put them up. So we are almost all of ours are posted under the should category, right? So, a curve like at 99 at Toolsboro, right? It is right on the borderline. Currently it isn't a curve sign, but it probably will have to be. Approximately a fourth of our system was constructed under an older standard. X37 going up to Junction, right? That was old state highway 76 built in the 20s or 30s, and it wasn't built for speeds we have. Not enough right of way, curves are too hilly and all that. We also have the X61, which is a Great River Road. That was designed as like a scenic route, and because of the tightness, and a lot of those speeds are 50. So we're going to have to do something there. And then when we have about a sixth of our system, which is either in town or at an area that's already posted at a lower speed limit. So plan is to we do have the blessing and ability to buy stickers. So the ability to get 60-mile-per-hour signs now is going to be a little tough for the first year or so, because you got all the DOT in every county, and okay. So we have purchased stickers that are on their way. We only have like 11 or 12 55-mile-per-hour speed limit signs here, so it's not a huge deal on that regard. So those are coming. Hopefully they'll be here in a couple weeks, and on July 1st, we can go post them. These curve updates though, right? I've been doing some studies, in order to properly do it, you have to have a gauge thing, and there's a gauge that, you know, we all share, but, it's gonna be busy for a while. So, this upgrading of signs and things like that is gonna be a while to get it done. There's other counties are looking at, well, what about our no passing zones and our painting, striping and all that, so. I have a county engineers meeting this Friday and then another one in July, and hopefully we'll get some updates and guidance, because there really is no guidance from anybody on this. It's kind of just everybody does what they want. I know there are counties who are talking about, well, in our county, the speed limit is going to remain at 55. And, my understanding is in order to set a lower speed limit, you have to have a pretty good engineering study, and then every entrance in the county has to be signed and every crossroad has to be signed and all that, and that's quite a lift, so.
I did read somewhere where they were appropriating $850,000 towards sign change, of which 380 some thousand would be divvied up to the county. So you may ask about that,
Okay,
because they're supposed to help with
Yeah.
the cost of this
yeah,
changing signs and,
okay.
and stuff, so.
You know, each speed sign is 50 or 60 bucks, so it is a big deal. I would wonder in that if they included all the extra curves and the chevrons and all those kind of things that, you know, are the kind of the not flashy things that you have to do, but you also want to have a system that's up to the.
Do you have any idea
Standard
what
that-
the total cost impact would be on our county to do the sign changes?
I don't know, we're talking probably a couple $1,000. I mean, it's gonna take a lot of time too.
Yeah, not including labor.
Yeah, so the stickers themselves are only $100 or something. And then the signs will come later, and that's, you know, what, 12 times 50, so.
Do you have any roads that you would consider not raising the speed limit on?
Definitely up by the power plant. Those roads are probably 40 mile per hour ones as well. I think the intention, or I'm gonna ask some other engineers how they're handling it. My intention is just increase curb signage rather than fighting the speed limit increase, right? I mean, if it's a law, I guess we have to comply with it, so, and it's just a lot to continually fight that, right?
I
So,
get it.
and then to lower it, you have to have an engineering study, and then it's kind of a,
Yeah, I'm not against
Yeah.
I just want to know what the impact on this.
I would not have supported it, but it's what the people wanted, I guess, so. Anyway,
I can see it on certain roads, some other roads.
yeah.
You
You know, I drove out to Lake Odessa this morning, on all those curves, I know, you know,
depends what car you're driving.
well,
Can be fun.
some of you in your sports cars there, but, yeah, you know, I just think it's gonna be a lot of hit the curve and speed up to 60, and of course, most of us, when the speed limit's 55, we're probably going 61, 62. Does that 61, 62 become 67? And, you know, as a county and as a state, we talked about does, you know, less, traffic deaths and all that, and we're probably not going in that direction right now,
It'll
so.
be interesting to watch the fatality rate and see if it changes much in the next year.
Yeah, so, yeah, you know, and, you know, locally, you know, I've got a lot of grants in, and part of this, project on the 99 will be to install, rumble strips on the curves and things like that to help, you know what I'm saying, it's a balance thing, so.
Yeah.
So, okay,
Okay.
next time.
you. We still left, I think.
Yeah, last thing was this, proposal to readjust the Louisa County Geodetic Control Network. This has come to me, or came to me in the winter. I think we briefly touched on it. I kind of try to ignore it because it's not really something that the secondary roads uses. I don't know how often land surveyors use it or not. I know in other counties, their plats all have to be tied to a network. Big thing for us here is gonna be flood elevations. So the new flood mapping that they're always working on will be tied to this, reference, system. And, so I guess if you're building a house in a low-lying area, you're gonna need a flood certificate and to make sure that the elevations are correct on it, so. I've talked to Muscatine, Washington, Henry, and Des Moines, and they're all in the process of doing this as well, so. It's like 12 or 13,000 bucks. I do not view it as a roads expense. I view it as a general county expense. You know, so that's my thoughts on it. The contractor did our last round, I think in 2002 or something like that. There's some books out at the office, but I mean, I've been there 8 years, we've never cracked it, so.
You got any?
So I kind of was the same way. I reached out to Lee County because I'd seen on the map that Lee County had done it. I talked to their GIS department. While she's new, she didn't really know a whole lot about it, but then did call me back and say that her engineer recommended it because it improves accuracy. That was kind of the gist of what she gave me. I did reach out to Des Moines County also, and they also are moving forward with the project, but they have a commission, a GIS commission, and I think the auditor, assessor, engineer, supervisor, Burlington Development, Burlington Engineer, and West Burlington City Admin sit on this commission. Again, not really a whole lot of detail. I'll probably follow up with this email. I did some research on how it would possibly affect what I would use, which is Beacon. So in the field, we use meets and bounds as our means of measurement. The GPS, the way I took it was wanting to get rid of the old monuments, like the oak tree on this section, and go to an actual GPS coordinate. That could potentially affect how the plat looks on digitally. I don't think it'll affect the analog version. I still have a phone call out to Jeff Lewis from Beacon. He's the GIS manager. So for me, I want to make sure that Beacon is able to adapt to this before there's any unknown charges from Beacon. Because I did ask about a cleanup, a parcel cleanup 2 years ago, and I think it was starting at 100,000 would cost to clean up the stuff. So I don't want this to happen and then we have an incurred cost of over 100,000 on my end. So I support the idea. I just want to make sure our ducks are in a row before we move forward with anything. I guess would be my,
Yeah, I would also recommend talking to MAGIC, which is the Muscatine Area Geographic Information Consortium. I guess it's city and power and water and county and all that, and because they do a lot of their own mapping, but it is on Beacon, so it's a little bit different because they've got a little bit more GIS staff there, but yeah, I would recommend asking around a bit, make sure that we're not, this thing that has to be done doesn't cost us an extra $100,000.
Right.
So,
So let's, table action on this until we get.
But I'm not really hearing that you're not seeing a benefit for the county then?
the benefit will be those who need elevation surveys for properties. And in the future, it would allow us to go to kind of the way the Muscatine system is that every plat is tied to a coordinate, right? Versus ours is just in the world, right?
and I don't know what that looks like on the surveyor side, if that's what they're going after. Getting rid of the old monuments.
The pins and,
Well, the pins would still exist. It
Yeah.
would be so years ago, they used, metal post at section 73 as the point of beginning with a concrete little tag. Now I think they're trying to get away from the post or the tree that's no longer there.
So if your property's at on a section line, I will say, the corner here, and it's got references, 15 foot this way is a spruce tree, and here's a fence, and here's a, whatever else person's saying, that is at, this spatial location, I guess, so.
And from what I gathered from it, it's federal's gonna go to it in February, and then the state will in turn adopt. And that's how the state will operate on this new 2022 version or 22 version, or whatever it's called.
And we get to pay for it.
It'd be a great thing if the state could just pay this for everybody, but so.
Again,
It looks like, Des Moines County in his email, examples of updating the reference sheets over the years. Each year would have been a project update to the monuments. So they did one in 99, 2012, 2017, and then now they're doing this new one.
Yeah, I think we've skipped a couple,
We're a little
honestly.
behind.
So, how about you give us another couple weeks to do some more research and maybe get these questions answered, and then we'll have a recommendation, so. Okay. Cool. Ready for a secondary roads update now?
Sure. So you gonna table that? Yeah. You take a motion and.
I make a motion to table. What do you call that? Geodetic survey?
Second. Motion second to table action on the geodetic control network. All those in favor? Opposed? Just out of curiosity, do we have to vote on that when it says possible action?
Probably just not take action, right?
You could,
I just didn't know if I had.
but Adam, he's told us.
No. Well, we can, I mean, the movement.
Yeah.
Okay. Approval of tobacco license, just.
They're gonna move his road.
Oh, wait, we
update.
got, we got his update, I'm sorry.
Everybody wants to know what's
He's
going
just
on
all
the road,
about
right?
cutting weeds.
we got a lot of construction, happening now, kind of looking like the DOT will pour the road on, the K Road, hopefully this week, and hopefully get it open next week or so. The plan for them was to have it done by the 15th. I don't know if they're gonna hit it or not, I guess isn't on my project, so.
With the
a lot of
bridge
say.
out, doesn't make a whole lot of sense anyway.
Yep, yeah,
So I did
so,
make a trip down and saw the bridge, they got a lot of equipment down there.
yeah,
They haven't been working on it.
so our bridge, right, they did all the demolition, did all the piles, got them ready. Realized that their steel supplier didn't bring the bars for the abutments. They arrived, right Friday, I believe. And now they are working on building the abutments, kind of suspect that they'll pour the abutments this week. And probably end of next week or the following week will be when the beams get here, so that the beams in, so again, I think we're on schedule. Delays they have, it's just off of their 90 working days, so they're down in the 60s now, so they have an incentive to keep on working on it, so all that. We've done a couple major pipe replacements, replacing box culverts with our own crew. We're also doing a little bridge repair, working with a contractor, out there on M Avenue, the bridge, over the drainage ditch there, and working on getting that done. We are pretty much done with our rock haul for the year. The guys are out doing, shoulder rocking, today, because everything's wet. Over the summer, we have some ditching and pipe work to be done. I'm going to IMWCA supervisor training tomorrow in Mount Pleasant, I believe, so. Always something happening here, so. Applied for a couple grants, that one, Safe Streets for All, it's a paved shoulder project, and then also applied for a couple bridge grants as well, so. Stay busy out there, I guess.
Questions for Ed? Thank you, Bert.
You are welcome.
Item 11. Renewal for tobacco license, Casey's store number 3449 Newport.
Make a motion to approve the tobacco license for Casey Store 3449.
I'll second it.
Motion second, any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Vote. Item 12. Alcohol permit Chips Place.
I'll make a motion to approve the alcohol permit for Ship's Place.
I'll second that.
Motion second, any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Approved tobacco license for Byler's Bargains.
I will make a motion to approve the tobacco license for Byler's Bargains.
Second.
Motion second,
What's the address on that business?
It's in Louisa County.
12-5. Primary office address is 17138 County Road X61 Muscatine.
And that's zoned for this kind of business?
I think, is that where the old treatment store was at?
No.
South of there.
There was a guy that ZWB that had a construction company there, and then they bought that property from him, I believe. But I don't know about the zoning part,
I'm not,
assuming it.
not in favor of this, I just wanna know how we get by. We have zoning and we don't do that, we don't follow zoning rules.
Well, I'm assuming they would have to file a permit.
Building permit.
Yeah, they would have a state permit and stuff like that too.
Yeah,
Who, they file
Well, this is through the state,
a, okay,
so they have to give everything to the state to get
okay,
approval.
all right, but does the state know anything about Louisa County zoning?
Is there any zoning on businesses?
Well, there's,
Again,
I'm assuming Brian would have had to,
I would have thought so.
would have had to give his
Be a
blessing.
good question for Brian.
okay, well, I just was curious, you know,
'Cause he's pretty good at making sure they
Yeah.
have a retail business permit.
that you can just.
I'll check, I can check with Brian.
You can stick a real retail business wherever you want, no matter whether it's agriculture. business,
No, I mean. And Brian's ran into that with some other cases,
Yeah.
so I guess I've never talked to him specifically about this place, but I figured he was aware of it.
And he's been here when it's been discussed a little bit, and I'm just curious more than anything, how that works.
I will,
So go ahead with your motion and do it. I'm okay with it. I just.
I don't know if they've added any buildings, but you know, that's not what Bill's looking at. It's like, are we adhering to all the restrictions for building?
I have a zoning meeting tonight, so I'll talk to Brian about that a little bit. see what-
And it's a renewal anyway,
Yeah.
right? So he had one before. I mean, I didn't think this business had been around very long, but. Okay, that's,
No, yeah, it wasn't very many months ago, or is it because of the new year?
They could,
We
yeah,
approved one just a few months ago for him.
that's how that works. It's an annual.
Yeah.
Okay, all right, makes sense.
Okay, motion second, all those in favor,
I,
opposed? Motion carried. Discussion on generator for the complex. Got two bids in front of us. One's 110,000 and 259, and the other one was 78,176.03. $30,000 is probably different.
yeah,
What's the brand of generators you're looking at?
Burkhardt Electric did a bid on a Kohler,
the other one's a generator.
and the other one's a Generac. And it was submitted by Hoekstra Electric from Winfield. Burkhardt is from Wayland.
And which one's more expensive or cheaper, whichever one?
Kohler, the Kohler bid is $110,259. Hoekstra is 78,176.
And how big generator?
48,000 watt is the Generac. I don't see a wattage listed on it.
Yeah, that's what I don't see that. I want to verify that they're the same.
Yeah. I would assume they'd be adequate to our requirements.
Yeah.
But he didn't have a specification on it when we had to bid for that item.
You know, I think Brandon got these bids, didn't he?
Yeah.
yeah.
So I'm not sure what he put on the specification for bid. You know what we're replacing out there, what size that is, Sean? by chance?
Not off the top of my head. Looks like the lower bid actually includes, future maintenance.
Yeah,
Oil and filter change at 24 hours. Or 3 months of ownership. And then fluid and filter change at 100 hours or 1 year. The other one, the more expensive one, is actually requiring the elevator to tie in the gas line to the generator. It looks like this one's included. It's not excluded, let's put it that way.
Well, yeah, but I think they're paying that they got the elevators. They're paying the elevator, it says to include. So they're using them as a contractor. I mean, how I read that.
On, Code Extra or Go Extra.
Brocard.
Oh. Oh, I see what you're saying, okay. You see the lead time?
Yeah, 2 weeks.
Holy moly,
What was our lead time on?
I didn't see one,
Didn't see one on this phone.
that's 8 months.
Yeah, that's huge.
Are you without one now?
Yes. No, there's no lead, I haven't seen any.
Didn't you say there were some possibilities from grant on that, Kevin, you was talking about a while back, or you?
Well, I talked to Southeast Iowa Regional Planning down there, Zach, and he said there's 2 pools we can enter where all these projects get entered and they just select what they want out of it. But he said the problem with it is we missed the cycle. We couldn't apply until January
Oh,
and we'll be able to start work till July next year.
yeah,
So I don't understand all the cycles on these grants and how they work, but so
I guess for me to make a decision, I'd like to have broker tell us what the wattage is on theirs. And on the other one, the lower priced one, I'd like to know what the lead time is.
You want to take it first?
So. A motion to table action on this until
Next meeting,
next meeting.
which is next Tuesday.
Yes.
oh, next Tuesday.
Yeah, we're
Tuesday.
gonna, if I knew those 2 things, I would make a decision. I'd probably make a decision now, but I'd like to know what the lead time is.
He doesn't have anything on there about.
No. They got the expiration date of the bid at the end of the month, so that would still be within that range.
Yeah, I guess find out those things, we'll talk about next week.
Do we want to do a motion to table
I'll make a motion to table the decision of the generator until next meeting after we find some more information.
I'll second.
that? Motion and second, any further discussion? All in favor?
Alright,
Opposed? Canvass the June 2nd, 2026 election. I need to borrow Joe Biden's auto pen.
So I need 2 copies of each signed, so that's why you both, you also have the same, but you have 2 are the canvas and 2 are the abstract. So I'll go ahead and start at the beginning.
You start signing.
Yep. So the first one is US Senator Democrat Josh with 177 votes and Zach with 186 votes. Then we have US District 1 Democrat Christina with 292 votes. And Travis with 70. Rob Sand for governor for Democrat is 356 votes. Secretary of State, Democrat Ryan with 342 votes. Auditor of State, Democrat Taylor with 345 votes. Treasurer of State Democrat John with 342 votes. Secretary of Ag Democrat Chris with 336 votes. Attorney General Democrat Nate with 337 votes. State Representative District 95, we had Carrie Trevino with 21 votes. And then we had County Supervisor Democrat, Treasurer Democrat, Recorder Democrat, and Attorney, all with just scattering votes. There wasn't enough votes to be put on the abstract. They were all right in scattered. And we had Mickey Mouse and all those good stuff. Always have them. Okay, get caught up here.
What would they do if he ever won?
I don't know. See if anyone's named Mickey Mouse, I got them.
I thought we had one in there now. To go by that.
So then we had US State Senator Rep Jim with 156, Ashley with 445. US Representative District 1, Marionette, 449, David with 165. Governor, we had Eddie with 17 votes, Randy 140, Zach with 226, Brad with 55, and Adam with 72.
Randy got 240, you said 140.
Oh, sorry,
That's okay.
240, yeah. State, Secretary of State Rep Paul, 564 votes. Auditor of State Chris with 307, and Abigail 252. Treasurer of State Robbie with 550. Secretary of Ag Mike with 568. Attorney General Brianna 562. State Rep District 95 Taylor with 558. County Supervisor Sean with 534. Treasurer Beth with 554. Recorder with Tammy 562. And Attorney Adam 562. And we'll have our post-election audit tomorrow at 9 a.m.
How many total voters do you have?
I'm sorry,
How many total?
1,000.
1,000.
Yeah, it was 1,000 even.
I think we all have to sign all stacks.
So here's some other
I'll be
stuff.
back in a minute, Peggy. Okay, thank you.
And then this is, because there's no candidates on the Democratic Party for county, I need you guys to sign that too.
So you think that was a pretty good turnout for this?
Yes, yes, because the last time it was up 600,
Yeah.
so yeah, so it's pretty good turnout.
Where?
There's,
But I just did somebody else's stack.
you're gonna take those two. And it's only the top one, you don't have to sign it. This is because there was no Democratic Party for the. So we, find the please. resolution after everybody's done signing, we'll have to approve that. I have to put everything in the newspaper, so it's giving a resolution that this audit, that's what it goes with.
I saw it, I'm stack, I gotta sign that.
Yeah.
Yay.
You can go there.
Oh, they get one.
Oh, no.
Does you have to incur all of
Yeah.
the costs for the
I'm
elec-
sorry,
Does the county have to incur all that cost for the election or the state?
for the primary and the gen, yeah. Yes. The city school, we can, send the cost out to the citizens in the school. But any primary in general, we have to incur all the costs,
But the state don't.
No.
They part of it,
even when they put,
resolution or
when they put,
special,
if they require something, it's all in the county,
yeah.
We had to spend a whole bunch of money on lecture equipment too. How much was that?
50.
But it worked for us, right?
It worked wonderful.
Very-
Every-
That's,
yeah,
that's the key.
Yeah. Yeah, I had no problem.
But we
Did
don't
you go
want,
to
we
the
don't
polls?
want, I did, I went,
How did it go?
it went well.
Did you use,
I was like 54, that's why I
Right.
asked, well, how many did you go? And then,
did you use the touch screen or did you
no,
paper ballot?
I did the touch screen for the first time.
I did too, it was pretty funny.
Yeah, it was pretty neat.
It just prints your ballot, that's all it does.
Yeah,
It
that's
doesn't
out a
do
receipt and then you go
anything.
put the receipt in the.
So are
Yeah,
the tally machine, is it actually hooked up to the internet?
Nope.
Good.
nope, there's no internet.
We don't need somebody saying that it's a rig to look.
Right, the computers that are even used.
Like they're already saying.
Yeah.
Right, the computers that are even used at the locations are not hooked up to the internet. The internet is shut off on all equipment.
Sweet.
Yes,
Yeah, we're not California.
no,
I don't know, Washington DC.
Yeah, that too.
and I had wonderful poll workers. They did great.
Doesn't make any sense why it would be hooked up to the internet. Why would it be?
Well, why?
You know, that just-
Possibility, the chance.
Even if there wasn't anything nefarious going on, it leads people to believe that there is.
So when the election, when it's done, I mean, for the day, do you have to go to each side? Each side comes, he brings everything back here? or-
I have sheriff reserve officers go to each location and pull the flash drives.
Yeah,
And they're put in sealed envelopes with security tapes on them. And then they deliver them to my office and we sign for it and put them there.
Yeah.
So that way they're sealed the whole time.
custody,
I have-
the chain of custody.
Yeah, so I have reserve officers.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, that's no difference, I would be for evidence thing.
Exactly. Exactly.
In this one.
Yeah. So that, how long do you have to keep the paper ballot parts then?
I have to keep everything 22 months.
1, 2 months?
And it's just kind of a rotating, I have to keep all the documents for the 22 months.
I assume you keep the electronic stuff.
Well, it's on, we have computers at the office that everything is uploaded, but it's not a computer that's online, for everything.
Yeah.
Everything's offline.
This one's completed.
Thank you.
This is, no, that and that, I gotta say.
So if you're compare the first one to the last one, see how close you guys are.
I got one that would make it every time. You're my stamp.
I'm 13, mine is 3 looking down.
I got one packet for them. I only filled out 2 packets.
Yes, there'll be 2 of these and 2 of the others.
All right.
So, yeah,
Make sure I didn't.
Yep.
Email that. I'll make a motion on resolution for the last one if you want.
I'll second that.
This is the resolution to approve.
Yep.
202-666
yes.
simplification.
Yep.
Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? No further business on the agenda, I would take a motion to adjourn.
Make motion adjourned.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
We are adjourned.